Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Hello and welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show. Glad that you've joined me here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please tell your friends about this show, and also be sure to pick up a copy of Heal Your Hunger, 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. Really excited about this book. It's selling like gangbusters, and I'm starting to do some speaking around this, and so that's exciting, and it's great to have gather people together and go through the many tenets in this book. And also people are starting to tune into my new course, which is 7 Simple Steps to End Emotional Eating Now. You can learn about that through healyourhunger.com. If you want to go through the contents of this book, if you want to be walked through this step by step so you can actually integrate these 7 steps and make them work for you so you can end emotional eating now, you got to check out this course. Go to healyourhunger.com and you can learn more and register, because there's some great bonuses if you register early. So what I want to talk about today is the scale, that wonderful little contraption that has ruled our lives and caused us so much misery. Yes, the scale. That's the thing I'm talking about. Worse than any tormentor in the world is the scale. And why is this? Well, let me explain. When we give the scale the power to make us feel good, guess what? We also give it the power to make us feel bad. And ooh, it does it well, doesn't it? So the problem with the scale is that we are making it our higher power, okay? We depend on that scale to tell us what we want it to tell us, to tell us whether to eat or not to eat, whether we can have fun tonight or not. I mean, we literally turn our power over to this thing. The problem with the scale is when we get on that scale and it tells us the number we like, there's a part of our tricky little emotional eater brains that says, ooh, I'm doing well. I think I've got a little wiggle room with which to play and eat. Okay, so we actually end up letting the scale give us permission to overeat. If the scale says something we don't like, well, we're pissed off because after all, we've been trying so hard. We're resentful, we're in self-pity, and we're kicking the dirt. And a lot of the times we end up overeating to console ourselves because we're so depressed and unhappy and disappointed. So we actually use the scale and whatever number it is, either way, to end up eating. And that is not obviously what we intended when we're getting on that scale. But that's how powerful it is. It can literally direct us to eat because we feel so good and feel like we've got wiggle room, or it gives us permission to eat because what's the point? Nothing's working anyway. Why even bother, right? I mean, it's a crazy emotional roller coaster ride, that scale. Simply just numbers on the scale. I want to tell you, I do not get on the scale because anytime I get on a scale, it's because I'm trying to exert control over my weight. And there is no such thing. I do not have control over my weight. I never have, and I never will. And I've learned this through bitter experience. Getting on the scale makes no difference on my weight, except it might make me gain weight. In fact, the last times I used the scale thinking I could get away with it, I ended up overeating, literally gaining weight because I decided to let the scale run my life. And so it's a trap. You may be able to handle the scale and you may be saying, that's not me. My scale helps me stay in check. That's fine, but why don't you look at the record? Like, does it really help you stay in check, or do you already know? Do you already know when you've gained weight? I mean, my pants tell me. I mean, I can tell if I've put on a few pounds. My pants will tell me. They don't lie, and I don't need to be attached or addicted to the scale. I mean, Roy tells a funny story. My husband, who's a spiritual healer, but also has suffered from an eating disorder. He was morbidly obese. He talks about one time in his early recovery that he was so addicted to the scale, he brought the scale with him on the plane. I mean, imagine. He literally brought the scale wherever he went and he had it on the plane with him. I mean, that's crazy town, right? And so nowadays, for decades, he hasn't weighed himself, and neither have I, because, well, I wouldn't say decades for me, but it's been a short amount of time, but I don't weigh myself either. And once in a while, I'll see the weight when I'm at a doctor's office. Sometimes I would actually try to see the weight intentionally. Nowadays, I really try not to. And both of us don't look when they weigh us. We turn the opposite direction and we say to the nurse, I don't want to know my weight. I mean, literally, we don't want to know, because it's a mind game, and I don't need that kind of noise in my head. I don't need one more thing to obsess about. I don't need one more thing to trigger me and to go, ballistic or start downing on myself because I'm not the weight I thought I should be. I'm telling you, for an emotional eater, it is a roller coaster, and I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with it, and my life is so much simpler without it. I'm not 400 pounds just because I don't, weigh and keep in check, keep my weight in check. I don't need to. If I'm eating 3 meals a day with nothing in between, if I am, getting moderate exercise, if I'm getting enough sleep, if I'm not nibbling and snacking, guess what? My weight's going to normalize. It's going to be what it should be. And so that's what I'm hanging my hat on, not on the number on the scale. It's such a trap, and it's an addiction in and of itself. And do you really need that in your life? Do you really need to be obsessing about the numbers on a scale? Wouldn't it be so much better to focus your attention on being healthy and eating healthy and doing self-care and your 6 self-care success secrets like I talk in the book? I mean, focus on that. Get hyper-vigilant about your meditation practice, about praying each day and walking and talking to God. Get focused on good, healthy habits, and your weight will take care of itself. Clean up on the inside, and your food will clean up on the outside. And I'm not saying you don't need to put effort into it. I mean, I spend time making sure I have the right foods in my fridge and chopping and cutting vegetables so I can have yummy salads that nourish me. But I'm telling you, I'd rather focus my time on that, and then on trying to make my weight what I think it should be. That effort, that intense need to control something, such as my weight, which I have never been able to control, by the way. I've never had control of my weight, and I don't have control of my weight now. I mean, my weight fluctuates even now 2 to 3 pounds regularly, and I can't focus on that. I can't pay attention to that. It's really just, it is what it is. It depends on the time of the month for me. It depends on the foods that I'm eating. It depends on how much sleep I'm getting, how much exercise I'm getting. There's all kinds of variables. So to sit there and hyper focus on that and obsess about it is such a waste of my time. I don't need it. I don't need it, and it's crazy making beyond that. It is crazy making, and I can't control my weight. I never could, and the number on the scale isn't going to make it any more manageable. In fact, it really does make it less manageable. So I hope this is a cautionary tale for you. You can draw from your own experience. How has the number on the scale actually successfully helped you lose weight? Like, have you really responded to the number and just lost those 10 pounds? Just because the number says you're overweight, or it's you feel like you're overweight. No, you didn't just drop 10 pounds because you saw the number on the scale and it whipped you into shape. No, it's a torturous experience, trying to make it say something less. Forcing our bodies to be something that they're not right now is an exercise in futility. If you want to be thinner, you've got to focus on the right things. That's all there is to it. It can't be on the outside stuff. And that may sound like woo-woo talk to you, but it's the truth, and it's hard-won, that truth. I'm telling you, I've tried it. I've tried being in control of my weight. I've tried forcing my body to be something it's not at the moment. And the best I can do is get still and quiet. Take care of my stress level. That's a big part of it. The more stressed out I am, the more tendency my body will be to hold on to calories instead of letting them go or burning them. The more stressed out I am, the more likely I am to reach for heavier foods, to want to use more dressing on my salad, or a little bit more oil in my meal. It's just, I don't need the chaos between my ears. Like, that's the thing. I don't need the chaos between my ears. So the less stress I have, the easier my food will be. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but but it bears repeating. The scale is not my friend. I mean, that's the bottom line. You give it the power to make you feel good. You got to put up with giving it the power to make you feel bad. It's not a one-way street. It works both ways. And truthfully, they're both a ride that you don't want to go on. So I hope you'll heed my advice. Try it. If you're really addicted to the scale, try weighing yourself once a month. Come down to once a month. Don't go cold turkey. Do it once a month, and realize how much your weight hasn't changed any different than it was when you were weighing yourself, okay? Not weighing yourself doesn't mean you go eat everything in the refrigerator. It means that you have more time and attention for the important things that will actually affect your weight directly, like taking care of yourself. So I hope this helps, and try it. Try it. It could be a whole new world for you right now. Thanks so much. Make sure to check in on the Heal Your Hunger page. Tell me how you like the podcast, what your experience is with the scale, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
If you enjoyed this show and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.